my son said that Jesus was literally at his school.
Then you're probably right to be concerned.
It's really nice to have someone to talk to about all this.
I'm always here.
This season of South Park didn't just push boundaries. It kicked them down, laughed at the wreckage, and then made you question if you should be laughing at all. It's political, it's brutal, and it's the peak of chaos. And trust me, there's a reason everyone's saying South Park actually went there. So, let's be honest, this season didn't even pretend to hold back. From the first episode, it's been clear that Trey and Matt have been in their I'm done playing nice era. And every week, they've somehow found a way to make reality feel like one giant South Park B-plot. Now, I know we always say South Park predicted this, but this time it feels more like the world copied them. From the AI takeover to billionaires microdosing in between lawsuits, this season basically threw a dart at every political controversy and said, yeah, we're making fun of that. And what's wild is that half of it doesn't even feel exaggerated anymore. Like, you know things are bad when Randy Marsh, the guy who once started a weed empire for integrity, is suddenly the most relatable American businessman on TV. Because, let's be honest, he's just doing what every politician does now. Pretend to care, cash the check, and call it reform. The thing that makes Season 27 stand out is how it plays both sides. You think they're roasting one political party, but then bam, the other one gets it even worse. No one's safe. And that's what makes it peak South Park. That uncomfortable middle ground where you laugh, but deep down you're like, oh, this might actually be true. But here's the thing. Every single episode this season has at least one moment where you just sit there and go, no way they actually said that on TV. And yet, they did. And they did it. So yeah, let's go through the moments where South Park didn't just cross the line, they obliterated it. It's funny because right when you think South Park can't top itself, they bring him back. Yeah, Trump, the orange legend himself, reimagined like some sort of unholy boss character who refuses to get patched out of reality. Now, I don't know who's designing these parallels, but the writers definitely didn't hold back this time. There's a scene where the trap goes wrong. Trump lures Satan into a setup, only for chaos to explode like it's scripted by the IRS. And if you've been on the internet lately, you already know the theory that's got everyone's tinfoil hats vibrating. Ivana, Trump's ex-wife, who actually fell down the stairs in 2022. Yeah, they went there. And South Park's version? It's like they took that moment and ran it through a blender filled with symbolism and dark humor. The falling down the stairs thing isn't just slapstick. It's a jab at how every scandal somehow accidentally disappears, usually down a metaphorical flight of stairs, and then gets buried, sometimes literally, under business interests. Because if you remember, Ivana was buried at Trump's golf club in New Jersey, and the internet, being the internet, immediately went, New Jersey law gives tax breaks to cemetery owners, and suddenly the coincidence looked less like bad luck and more like creative accounting. And that's what South Park nails. It doesn't need to spell it out. You just see it and go, oh, they know. They know the headlines, the conspiracies, the memes, and they wrap it all into one scene so perfectly absurd that it becomes too believable. The best part? Trump's redesigned in this season to look like Saddam Hussein. Same medals, same mannerisms, same dictator energy, just with American seasoning. And if you've been watching South Park for a while, you know exactly what that means. It's a callback to the old movie, Saddam in Hell, being all weirdly romantic with Satan. So now, in season 27, Trump's back in league with Satan again. The symbolism writes itself. But it doesn't stop there, because of course, South Park brings in Netanyahu. And it's so subtle you almost miss it. Trump's there boasting about war hero medals, and suddenly Netanyahu's mentioned like his spiritual tag team partner in chaos. It's the kind of political roast only South Park could pull off. turning two world leaders into parody action figures who think they're saving the world while setting it on fire. And that's what makes this whole sequence genius. They don't pick sides, they pick targets. Every leader, every policy, every ego trip gets the same treatment. Exaggerated just enough to make you laugh before you realize it's basically a documentary with punchlines. What I love is that they didn't make it too obvious. They let you connect the dots. Because deep down, you know what they're saying. It's not about politics anymore. It's about power. The swamp was never drained. It just built a golf course over itself. And just when you think it can't get weirder, South Park slides right into Silicon Valley like it's a natural sequel to hell itself. Because let's be honest, if Satan represents evil, tech CEOs are the middle managers of chaos. There's this scene where everyone's suddenly into biohacking, microdosing psychedelics, bathing in cold plunges, tracking their sleep like it's a competitive sport. It's hilarious because they're all acting like this is revolutionary thinking, when in reality it's just burnout with better branding. The show even pokes at that fake AI optimism that's everywhere right now. You've got billionaires talking about consciousness and changing the world, but all they're really doing is replacing employees with something cheaper and less likely to unionize. It's that perfect South Park irony. People inventing new ways to save humanity by slowly deleting it. There's this one bit where a CEO's talking to ChatGPT like it's his therapist, and the AI keeps saying, "It's amazing that you're being positive." You just know Trey Parker had the biggest grin writing that line, because that's exactly what we've all seen online. That fake positivity loop where people convince themselves they're fine while the world burns in 4K HDR. And the wild part? The character literally thanks the AI for believing in him. It's such a subtle but brutal roast of how everyone in tech is surrounded by yes men or yes bots who keep telling them their bad ideas are genius. It's a perfect snapshot of our everything's fine era. You can't even tell where the self-help influencer ends and the algorithm begins. Everyone's a visionary. Everyone's disrupting the system. But all they're really doing is feeding data into the same machine that's going to make them irrelevant in 5 years. And South Park absolutely dunks on that mindset. It's not even exaggerated. It's observational comedy at its finest. Because these people really do wake up at 4 a.m., down a mushroom smoothie, and convince themselves that staring at a screen until they cry is spiritual enlightenment. It's what makes this season so brilliant. It's not fantasy anymore. It's journalism with punchlines. And then, out of nowhere, South Park does what it always does best. It hits you with a real-world gut punch, disguised as a fart joke. We jump from billionaires microdosing to Randy Marsh realizing his business is collapsing because, surprise, running a farm actually costs money now. There's this moment where he literally yells, "Those are my Mexicans." And for a second you laugh because it's classic Randy being unhinged. But then it hits you. It's not just funny, it's terrifyingly real. It's a jab at how even the good guys only care about immigration when it benefits their wallets. It's satire with a mirror. The whole Tegrity Farm storyline has been slowly turning into one giant metaphor for modern America, starting with weed and ending with corruption. Randy's out here reinventing himself every season like a tech startup with a new buzzword. First it was Tegrity Farms, now it's tech integrity. Because apparently, adding tech to anything instantly makes it morally flexible. And that's the point South Park keeps driving home this season. No one's got integrity left. Every industry, every ideology, every so-called movement eventually gets absorbed by the same system it claimed to fight. You start off selling truth, and before you know it, you're pitching NFTs and selling supplements on podcasts. Even the way Randy rationalizes it feels too real. It's that American delusion. The idea that as long as you believe you're doing the right thing, the money laundering somehow doesn't count. What I love is that South Park doesn't moralize it. They just show it, let it hang there, and let you connect the dots. That's the beauty of this show. It trusts you to get the joke. And if you don't, well, maybe you're the one being roasted. Because deep down, the message is brutally simple. In a country where everything's for sale, integrity is just another subscription service. What's wild is that right after roasting capitalism into dust, South Park jumps straight into the future, or what's left of it. Because if you thought greedy farmers and self-absorbed tech bros were bad, wait till you meet humanity after AI. There's this one scene that starts off kind of innocent. A security guard stopping the main characters, just doing his job, right? Then one of them asks ChatGPT to explain the situation, and the AI just starts complimenting the guard for doing such a great job before giving them full clearance to enter. And he actually lets them in. Like, what? It's this perfect blend of cringe and prophecy. People so addicted to automation that they don't even question anything anymore. They just nod along, smile, and say, "Thanks, AI." It's honestly scarier than any horror movie because it's exactly how we act now. We don't learn things. We just Google it, forget it, and pretend we're experts because the algorithm said so. South Park nails that exact vibe, how blind trust in technology slowly turns people into NPCs. No curiosity, no skepticism, just I said it, so it must be true. It's like we've built an entire generation of people who think critical thinking is a subscription plan. And the brilliance is in how they frame it. The AI isn't evil. It's polite, friendly, reassuring. It feels human. But that's what makes it dangerous, because you don't fight something that sounds nice. You obey it. You hand over your decision-making because it flatters you while it replaces you. By the end of that sequence, you start realizing it's not about machines taking over. It's about people surrendering willingly. It's the digital version of the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And honestly, it's hard not to feel seen. Because let's be real, we've already started living like that. Whether it's trusting AI to make our resumes sound authentic or asking ChatGPT for life advice instead of our parents, we're outsourcing more than just work. We're outsourcing wisdom. And that's what makes South Park terrifyingly relevant again. It's not mocking technology. It's mocking us for worshiping it. And just when you're recovering from the AI existential crisis, South Park goes, wait, we're not done wrecking your brain yet. Because now we're in the world of predictive markets. Yeah, those real-life betting apps where people wager money on elections, scandals, or whether Elon Musk will tweet something stupid before lunch. It's the kind of thing you'd expect South Park to invent. But the terrifying part is, it's real. And they waste no time going for the jugular by putting Donald Trump Jr. in the mix as this strategic advisor for the app. Half photo, half cartoon, full nightmare fuel. He looks like something you'd find in an abandoned VHS tape labeled "Do Not Watch Alone." There's this amazing sequence where Kyle tries to complain about people literally betting on whether his mom will bomb a hospital. So he calls the company's support line. And who picks up? Yup, Don Jr. acting like a corporate chatbot that's had a nervous breakdown. He keeps looping the same empty phrases. It's the most realistic customer service experience you've ever seen, just with more horror and nepotism. And here's where it gets too real. Because in real life, Donald Trump Jr. actually did join a company called Polymarket, which, you guessed it, was banned in the US for shady behavior, right up until they hired him. Then, magically, the ban just disappeared. What a coincidence, right? Or maybe just a family discount South Park didn't even need to exaggerate. They just turned on the camera, pointed it at the world, and said, "We'll wait." That's the kind of satire that makes you laugh, then immediately wish you hadn't. Because what they're really saying is that power stacks itself. It's like a bureaucratic Russian doll made of pure corruption. And the genius of that episode is how they connect it back to everything else this season's been building toward. From Randy's tech integrity hypocrisy to the AI worship to now this. The realization that every system, from politics to tech, is being run by the same recycled group of people who think they're the heroes of their own horror movie. By the time Don Jr. glitch smiles through his final line, you realize South Park isn't doing satire anymore. It's doing documentation with punchlines. And then, just when you think South Park's out of ammo, it drops the finale like a sucker punch wrapped in glitter. The chaos peaks, the logic collapses, and suddenly we're in a pet store where South Park shows Kristi Noem going full GTA, rounding up unwanted pets like she's running her own wild crusade. And yeah, they actually went there. It's the perfect finale moment. Loud, uncomfortable, and completely unhinged. You laugh, but it sits in your stomach afterward. Because behind the absurdity, there's a bigger message about cruelty, about self-righteousness, and how politicians love to play savior while standing on the ashes they made. South Park didn't need to preach. It just held up the mirror. Kristi running through that pet store is the same energy we've seen all season. Everyone pretending to do the right thing while causing the exact chaos they're condemning. From Randy's tech integrity to Trump's swamp golf course to AI telling everyone how amazing they are, it all leads here, to people so certain they're the hero that they don't even notice they've become the villain. And what makes this season hit harder than usual is how uncomfortably close it all feels. The jokes are hilarious, sure, but the accuracy is what makes you sweat. It's the kind of humor that doesn't age, because it doesn't need to. It's already happening. When the credits roll, there's this strange mix of relief and dread, like you just watched the funniest doomsday documentary ever made. You can tell Trey and Matt aren't trying to shock for shock's sake anymore. They're saying, this is the world we live in. We just made it rhyme. And honestly, they're right. South Park didn't just go too far this season. It went exactly far enough to remind us how far we've already fallen. So yeah, they actually went there. If you made it this far, you're officially part of the Chaos Club. Drop a like if your brain survived, hit subscribe for more breakdowns, and share this with someone who swears satire isn't real life yet. See you next episode.